Do you ever feel like you're running a race you can never ever win? A race to be happier, to be more successful, to be more secure. A race to finally arrive at that magical point in the future where all your problems are solved, your anxieties disappear, and you can finally relax and start living. We spend our entire lives running towards this imaginary finish line, always believing that real life is just around the next corner. But what if the race itself is the problem? What if the finish line is a mirage that moves further away the faster you run towards it? And what if the only way to truly win is to stop running altogether? Over 70 years ago, the brilliant philosopher and writer Alan Watts looked at the modern world and saw a strange sickness. He saw a culture of people who were richer, healthier and safer than any in history, and yet they were consumed by a deep and pervasive anxiety. In his masterpiece, The Wisdom of Insecurity, he provides a diagnosis for this sickness and a powerful antidote. This book is not just a collection of interesting ideas, it is a profound, challenging and deeply liberating invitation to wake up from the frantic dream of the future, and discover the incredible, vibrant and ever-present reality of the now. It is a guide to finding stability, not by grasping ever more tightly, but by learning the art of letting go. To understand Watts's solution, we first have to understand his diagnosis of the problem. The root of all our anxiety, he argues, is that we have been taught to live for a future that doesn't exist. Our entire culture is built on a system of delayed gratification. As a child, you go to school to prepare for college, you go to college to prepare for a career, you work at that career to prepare for retirement. We are always living for the next thing, sacrificing the present moment for the promise of some future reward. Watts uses a wonderful analogy for this. He says it's like a donkey chasing a carrot that's tied to a stick on its own back. No matter how fast the donkey runs, the carrot is always the same distance away. This is the state of the modern mind. We are constantly chasing a future that, by its very nature, can never arrive. Tomorrow is always a day away. The result is a life of perpetual frustration. We are so focused on the destination that we completely miss the journey. We are so obsessed with the promise of the meal that we forget how to enjoy the process of eating. This creates what Watts calls the divided mind. We are never fully present in what we are doing. When we are working, we are thinking about our vacation. When we are on vacation, we are thinking about the work piling up back at home. We are always somewhere else. This division, this inability to be fully present, is the source of our constant low-grade feeling of dissatisfaction. We feel that life is always passing us by, that the real thing is just about to happen, but it never does. Life, Watts reminds us with piercing clarity, is only ever now. There is no other reality than this present moment. And to the extent that we are living in the future, we are not truly living at all. We are chasing a ghost. So if living for the future is a trap, how do we escape it? This brings us to the central, paradoxical, and most famous idea in the book, the backward law. The law states that the more you try to get something, the more it will elude you. It's the desire for a positive experience that is, itself, a negative experience. Conversely, the acceptance of a negative experience is, itself, a positive experience. This sounds complicated, but it's actually something we've all felt. Think about trying to fall asleep. The more you desperately try to sleep, the more awake you become. It's only when you let go of the effort, when you stop trying, that sleep finally comes. Or think about happiness. The person who is constantly asking, "Am I happy yet? Am I happy yet?" is almost guaranteed to be miserable. The desperate grasping for happiness is the very thing that pushes it away. True happiness, like a butterfly, tends to land on your shoulder when you are not chasing it, when you are simply absorbed in doing something else. Watts explains this with another beautiful metaphor. He says that trying to secure yourself and find ultimate pleasure is like trying to grab a fistful of water. The more tightly you clench your fist, the faster the water escapes. But if you simply relax your hand and cup it gently, the water will rest there. The same is true for life. The more we try to grasp it, to hold on to pleasurable moments and protect ourselves from painful ones, the more we suffer. We create a frantic anxiety trying to freeze a river that is meant to flow. The backward law is the cure. If you want to feel secure, you must embrace the fact that you are fundamentally insecure. If you want to feel rich, you must accept that you are fundamentally poor in the sense that you own nothing permanently. If you want to find pleasure, you must open yourself up to the possibility of pain. It is only by letting go of the desperate chase for security and pleasure that we can ever truly find them. It's about relaxing the fist. It's about stopping the frantic pursuit and allowing life, in all its messy, unpredictable, and beautiful reality, to simply be what it is. The myth of the separate self. This all leads to the deepest and most mind-bending part of Watts's philosophy. Why do we feel so insecure in the first place? Why do we feel this desperate need to grasp and control the world? The reason, he says, is because of a powerful illusion, a myth that is baked into our language and our way of thinking. This is the myth of the ego, the belief that I am a separate thing from the rest of the universe. We have this persistent feeling that we are a little man, a homunculus, living inside our own heads. We feel like a pilot driving a machine called the body. We say I have a body, not I am a body. This creates a sense of profound separation and loneliness. We feel that I am this isolated ego, and the entire rest of the universe is other. And because we feel separate, we feel threatened. We have to protect this little I from the vast, scary universe out there. We have to secure its future, protect it from pain, and ensure its survival. This is the source of all our anxiety, but Watts argues that this separate self is a complete and total illusion. It's a trick of the mind. He uses the famous analogy of a wave in the ocean. A wave is a distinct pattern, a form that we can see and point to. But is the wave separate from the ocean? Of course not. The wave is the ocean, waving. It is a temporary expression of the whole. In the same way, you are not an ego trapped inside a body, separate from the universe. You are the universe, peopling. You are a temporary pattern, a unique expression of the entire cosmos. Your body, your thoughts, your feelings, they are not things that you have, they are you. You don't come into this world, you come out of it, just as a leaf comes out of a tree. The feeling of being a separate, isolated ego is a hallucination. When you can begin to feel this truth, not just understand it intellectually, the entire foundation of anxiety dissolves. If you are not separate from the rest of life, what is there to be afraid of? You are a part of it all. You are a wave, and the ocean cannot harm itself. The need to desperately secure your own little future disappears when you realize you are connected to everything that is, was, and ever will be. It's a shift from seeing yourself as a lonely ghost in a machine to seeing yourself as a feature of the entire landscape. The religion of no religion. So what does it mean to actually live this way? How do we put these profound ideas into practice in our everyday lives? Watts is not advocating for a specific religious practice, but for a certain kind of awareness, a religion of no religion. It's not about believing in certain doctrines, it's about waking up to the reality of your own experience. The core of this practice is paying attention. It's about bringing your full awareness to the present moment without trying to judge it or change it. It's about becoming deeply interested in your own senses. What do you see right now? Really see? What do you hear? What do you feel? We spend so much of our lives lost in the world of abstract thought, worrying, planning, remembering, that we forget that the only reality we ever have is the one that is coming through our senses right now. To practice this is to stop trying to escape the present moment. If you feel sad, the practice is to feel sad fully without telling yourself you shouldn't feel that way. If you feel bored, the practice is to feel the boredom, to become curious about it. The goal is to stop fighting with your own experience. You welcome it all in, the pleasure, the pain, the joy, the anxiety, as simply a part of the rich and varied texture of life. This is not a passive state, it is a state of deep and vibrant engagement with the world. When you are no longer trying to secure the future, you are free to give your full, undivided attention to the present. You can become completely absorbed in your work, in a conversation, in the taste of your food. This total absorption in the present moment is what other traditions might call mindfulness, or what psychologists call a flow state. It is the state in which we are our most creative, our most effective, and our most alive. It is the natural state of a mind that is no longer at war with itself. The true wisdom of insecurity. By weaving these ideas together, we arrive at the book's profound conclusion. The title, The Wisdom of Insecurity, is the final, perfect summary of the entire philosophy. Our entire society is based on the idea that insecurity is a problem to be solved. We are taught to seek security at all costs, financial security, emotional security, social security. But Watts shows us that this is a fool's errand. The universe is, by its very nature, insecure. Everything is in a constant state of flux and change. Nothing is permanent. To demand security from an insecure world is to set yourself up for a lifetime of frustration and anxiety. It is like trying to build a house on a flowing river. The true wisdom, then, is to stop seeking security and to learn to live with and even enjoy the inherent insecurity of life. True security is not found in a bigger bank account or a better plan for tomorrow. It is found in the courage to fully embrace the present moment, with all its uncertainty, its unpredictability, and its impermanence. The only stable ground in the entire universe is the ground you're standing on right now. This is a deeply liberating message. It means you can stop running. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to achieve some future state of perfection to be happy. Everything you have been frantically searching for is already here, in this present moment, if you just stop, breathe, and pay attention. The goal is not to secure yourself for the future. The goal is to realize that you are already, in this moment, a perfect and inseparable part of the magnificent, flowing, and insecure dance of the universe. This is not just a philosophy, it's an invitation to a saner and more joyful way of life. It's an inquiry into the very nature of consciousness and happiness. If this is an inquiry that resonates with you, if you are tired of the frantic race and are looking for a deeper wisdom, then you are in the right place. Welcome to Geeky Philosopher. Subscribe, and let's continue this exploration together.